final third.
I think Pepe's so coachable. You just need to shake him.
You should be in prison. We bailed you out. We bailed you out to come and play this season. You're out here disgracing us. You should be in prison. You facing charges.
Five for you. Worst transfers in the Premier League history.
We've talked about this guy a lot, and I still want to give him time. You know what? I am still gonna give him time. I'm not gonna write him. It was gonna be Pepe. I can't lie to you, but I had a little change. Like he's received enough slander. I want him to turn it around. I want him at this point. I want him to turn it around.
Here's why. Okay, so your number 5. Oh,
it's not gonna be Pepe. My number 5 is Fernando Torres. Okay. I'm gonna start off there. Because when Chelsea decided to splash out 50 million on Fernando Torres, I know they thought they were getting a Fernando Torres that was ripping United, ripping the whole league apart. They thought they were getting him. But if they'd used their eyes and their noggin just to see that the season they signed him in January, that season he was on the decline. He wasn't playing very well.
At all.
He wasn't. That's the thing that's so strange about that transfer. Because everyone
money laundering though. Something.
You think
that he was bad that season. That's what I'm saying. Like they signed him.
We've seen Fernando Torres the couple seasons before, and we're like, wow, this guy is a.
They could have gone for a lot cheaper. That's what I'm saying. Like, what was that?
But they literally just splashed out 50 million
straight away.
And
back then, 50 million was big money.
50 million was 50 million. It was big back then. They signed him, and you could instantly see that it wasn't right. It wasn't right at all. You think back to the miss against United when he rounds the keeper, and it's just like
we have to finish this, innit?
When he rounds the keeper and he misses a completely empty net.
Oh, against United.
Against United.
Yeah, that highlights how bad the thing was.
Like it was bad, but even without that, it was so bad. He couldn't hold up nothing. The pace had gone. You know, Fernando Torres was electric. He was electric.
The pace had gone. It just wasn't sharp, and he looked depressed.
He looked sad.
So for me, my number 5. That's a good one, by the way, Torres. My number 5. You'll be like, how big was this signing? But at the time, it was big. Roughly 30 million for the club as well. And they kind of needed a striker. He was going to be their marquee striker. This is when Twitter was kind of just starting, and they just had big money because they sold a big player. What's his first name? Well, you know his surname, Saudade at Spurs.
Oh, Roberto
Saudade. This was one of the worst Premier League signings
what's funny about that?
All time. Roberto Saudade for about 30 million. He was popping. Was that Valencia?
No, Valencia,
yeah. He was popping at Valencia. Million. Every week, Tottenham will come back. Okay, hopefully he will score. Then he finally broke it, scored a penalty. And everyone was like,
he scored penalties for like the first 3 games.
He scored penalties. And then everyone was like, oh, he's finally got off the mark. Because you know they say once you get one, you get the rest. It never came. That's one of the worst transfers in Premier League history in terms of how big he was supposed to be. Because 30 mil was a lot of money
for Tottenham.
And back then
he was supposed to replace the Bell goals.
Yeah, he was supposed to. That was the Bell replacement money. So mine was Roberto Saudade. That was my number 5.
Deep. Good choice. I like that shit.
Uncle, we have it on silent for now. The phone, just for now, so we can finish it.
4th on my list. I was contemplating whether he should be higher or not, but
same with my number 4 as well.
I mean, I have to put him in. It's Kepa.
Oh! You know my thing is, a lot of the players that are still playing right now, unless they've left the Prem, I was like, I can't put them in.
That was my thing with Pepe. That was my thing, but Kepa, people don't deep. Kepa was signed for 71 million on I think it was a 7-year contract. They can't get rid of him even if they want to. Nobody's paying that money.
God, how did I forget Kepa?
Kepa for 71 million.
Yeah, no, Kepa's there still.
71 million.
Just because I hadn't put him in there, but Kepa's 100%.
The worst thing is, Chelsea were getting ginnels by Courtois. He was saying, I'm not coming back. Sell me to Real Madrid for peanuts. I'm not coming back regardless. And they had to do it. And on the last day of the transfer, it was around the end of the transfer window, they were desperate.
And the thing is, some
Desperate.
football ITKs were like, oh yeah, Kepa's going to be the new future of Spain. You didn't know Nish.
Yeah,
they
no.
seen him play, had 1 or 2 good games. They said, yeah, Real Madrid wanted him. That was everybody's thing.
that was just signing him. Real Madrid wanted him.
So why not?
Play him.
Oh, Bilbao ate off that.
Oh,
Bilbao, that was sweet. 70 mil for a keeper.
I know whenever Chelsea have to pay the installments, Bilbao.
Chelsea installments come through. Nah.
Price of the brick going up.
Price of the brick going up. My number 4. And Chelsea, the sins Chelsea have committed. Everyone always says Abramovich is the best owner, and it's because he fails several times and he still keeps going.
He's still gonna go.
Chelsea,
he's still shooting.
Chelsea will have at least 2 or 3 spots in this list. So my number 4 has to be Andrei Shevchenko.
Ooh.
When Shevchenko came to Chelsea in 06, yeah, streets were scared. Streets were scared because he's come off of the back of an AC Milan career that was peak. He was one of the best strikers in the world at the time. And this was the golden era of strikers. He's come off, lethal pace, hold up the ball, peak, complete upgrade of what Drogba would have been or what we expected. But then he comes to Chelsea for 30 million at the time, and 30 million was big money. When 30 million was big money in 2006, but serious money. No one was getting bought for 30 million. Even a lot of players weren't getting bought for like 15 million or 20 million. Cool, they bought him. And I can't remember his record. I think he only scored 9 goals.
Yeah, that sounds very.
He scored like under 10 goals in like 50 games. He was a 1 in 5 striker, and he was one of the best strikers in the world. Bro, that was bad. That was the first as a football fan, as an early football fan, that was the first big flop I'd witnessed. So he has to go in my top 5. He has to go in my top 5. You got the stats up there. He has to go in my top 5. His Chelsea career was pants. And I think he left like a couple seasons after.
Yeah.
Straight away.
He only stayed for like 2 seasons.
Yep. Number 3. Who's your number 3, Banks?
Again. So tight. I was gonna put, literally I wanted to put Shevchenko there, but I thought nah. Let me try to think of something else. My number 3 has to be Andy Carroll. Let's remember the legacy, who he was supposed to replace. Fernando Torres, he scored all those goals for Liverpool. Like, that's deep. They signed him and Suarez at the same time.
I was gonna put Andy Carroll, but 35 mil.
That was big money, but they signed Luis Suarez for 23. They were expecting more from Andy Carroll, and it was unfair. I don't even think he didn't want to leave. That's the worst thing. That's what breaks my heart. But Andy Carroll, yeah, it's sticky. It's sticky icky for him, fam.
Andy Carroll, your number 3. Okay. The Kepa one's a fantastic shot. I can't believe that's gone over me, because out of anyone who's still playing, he will always be a flop.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Number 3 for me. Man United got to come and answer for their sins, man.
Ooh, Adam higher.
Angel Di Maria.
Oh, chill.
Angel Di Maria.
Oh, that means that. Oh, wow, I didn't even have it.
Angel Di Maria.
That's deep.
Angel Di Maria. Angel Di Maria came to Manchester United off of the back of being one of the best central midfielders in the world at that time. And Angel Di Maria was a winger. They bought him as a winger. Angel Di Maria robbed his own property in Manchester to leave the club. Angel Di Maria was bought for just under £60 million at a time when, I think this was just after Fergie left. The season or so just after Fergie left. So he was part of the revamp after Fergie. And they had the streets shaking when they that transfer window, because they bought Falcao, they bought Di Maria. I think Mata had just come. They bought some other players, but they had some big names there. Boy, oh boy, has a player stunk out the joint. And since that Real Madrid moved to Manchester United, I wouldn't even say he's been the same player. Now he's at PSG, but no one's scared of Di Maria. So well done, Man United, because you really tarnished a world-class player at one point.
signed that after being one of the best centre mids in Europe. And he played him up front. He played him as a striker. Wallahi, if Van Gaal didn't give us Martial and Rashford, I swear to God, I'd go and find him myself. Because the hell he put us through for 2 years, and people still have the nerves. I miss the Van Gaal. You don't miss the Van Gaal days. You don't miss the 0-0s every single second.
Sideways, backward.
Oh,
left,
you don't
left.
miss that.
Slow.
Man made it so. But at the same time, Di Maria is a pussy for doing that. Like we're not gonna absolve him completely because he gave up very quickly.
Quick.
It was raining. Deal with it. We're not the only. It doesn't only rain in Manchester.
It's not only.
It doesn't only.
England's not the only gloomy country in the world.
It's snowing in Spain right now, so it wasn't that hard. You could have fought a little bit more. You could have fought.
Said his wife didn't like it.
Nah. His wife was all boying off United. I could have. I'll chill.
So my number 3 is I think it's a well-deserved number 3.
Yeah, definitely. I can't believe I missed that one as well.
Yeah, who's your number 2?
My number 2. Again, after seeing the impact, we spoke about this episode. After seeing the impact that Van Dijk had on a defense.
I was gonna put him in as well.
When you had the impact that Van Dijk have had on a defense, you remember Liverpool in the 18 season, all party at the front, left their sense at the back. There's no sense at the back. He came in and single-handedly steadied that. The impact he had, he steadied that shit.
Yeah.
Steadied it. And then you look at Maguire, who was signed for £5 million more. £5 million more. And he's looking like some chaotic fridge. It doesn't make sense. Have you ever seen a fridge that's chaotic? You've never seen it before. A fridge is supposed to be just there.
You know what you're gonna get.
And you know what you're gonna get. You open the door, you go get a yogurt.
And it's cold and it's got a light on.
But him,
it's got a light.
The light's off. The fridge is all warm.
The warm fridge.
The fridge freezer doesn't open. It doesn't make sense. We got more chaotic ever since he's came. We need all of our defenders to come and compensate for him.
It's always so a patch slow. Job. It's always like, who works well with him? Why don't you work well with someone else?
Right? Why don't you get your facilities up? You're literally £80 million worth of defender and you cannot do the basics. Every time I'm seeing man run off you, every time I see you stripping, your legs are all spread apart, you're on your batty for no reason, you're letting balls go across the box.
You're pulling defenders out of the way.
Fam! Are we deep in?
My number 2, we need to, because we're running out of time. My number 2, it's been mentioned already. We had a caller as well, by you as well. It's got to be that Fernando Torres move to Chelsea from Liverpool. That's one of the worst deals. Chelsea's got blood on their hands for the amount of money they've wasted in this league. That's one of the worst deals because they signed him up for
spend money, we get it back. That's their mentality. Spend money, we get it back.
You should.
Oh God, shower your blessings.
Shower your blessings.
That's what Abramovich says every day. Wait, so hey, shower your blessings.
Just shower your blessings.
Shower your blessings.
50 million to Liverpool. Liverpool were laughing that season because he was bad. Then they could have used that money to replenish.
Literally.
But yeah,
spent half of it on Spurs.
The other half on Andy Carroll. Number 1 worst transfer of all time in the Premier League. Banks. What's yours? I pray we have the same because this only goes to one place.
We don't.
Have you seen my list?
I haven't.
Okay, go on.
It's another Chelsea signing. It's another Chelsea. Like when we talk about Chelsea, they fill up this list.
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea signed Adrian Mutu.
Oh, Adrian Mutu.
He was on crack. Deep it. They signed a cokehead. They had to sack him. How many players have you heard of being sacked? They signed him for what, 20 million? They signed him for a stupid amount of money.
Then,
Scored 6 goals in 2 years. They thought he'll come in and rate. They signed the guy on drugs. How many times does They had to sack him. They had to terminate the contract. Said
You do coke.
Big up Grealish, but if he does a mad thing, Aston Villa are not sacking him.
Yeah.
Aston Villa are not sacking him.
How much coke you have to do to get sacked?
To say, so yeah.
Sacked.
We gotta wash our hands of this.
Football's a very reliable income. Steady. You can't get sacked. You can get fined.
You can get put in reserve.
Your wages could get taken.
They'll put you in. They'll make sure nobody sees you again. Sacked.
If they put coke, they'll rather put you in rehab. And put you in the back than sack you.
It must have looked like that final scene of Scarface when Tony Montana.
Yeah.
Hey.
They said sacked.
Hey, just
and
for that.
He's white.
Hey, he couldn't even get that privilege off. He must have been doing it by the ton.
No,
by the ton.
I completely forgot about that.
If you need a top 1 worst Premier League signing, I don't think there's anything more chaotic than that. I don't think there's anything more
For me,
chaotic than
my
that.
number one. Now, and we loved him. We loved the vibes that he brought. We loved the vibe. And this was the first big signing. This was the first big signing for the club. We loved the vibes that his country gave us growing up. The adverts they gave us. Even his old footballing career, club career, is not even that great when you think about it. But has to be Robinho.
Stop, man.
Has to be Robinho. Has to be Robinho at Manchester City. When Manchester City signed Robinho in 2008 or 2009 with the influx of money they had, fair enough, Mark Hughes was their manager, so they weren't all right with the money. But 60 mil for Robinho, we wanted greatness.
Was it 60 mil? I thought it was 30.
Nah, it was 60
It was 60?
It was 60 mil still.
Are you sure?
Hold on, let me check. Let me get my fact right. Because I have it off of the premise that they bought him for 60 mil. Because, no lie.
60 mil back in 2008. He was terrible. He wasn't even terrible. He started off well. He started off well, but again, them Brazilian, like the South Americans literally don't like Manchester. I don't like. It rains, it's cold, but like you can.
How many potatoes do you want them to eat? What do you mean? They're coming from good food, good tapas,
Good food, good carnival, good party.
good vibes, and they're going to Manchester. What's up there?
What's up there?
What's up there?
South Shopping Centre, dude. Never been South Shop.
No, and neither of you for a reason. Yeah, well, sorry, it was
You don't know what I mean.
32.5 million in 2008, which was still a lot of money. I know the fee was mad because everybody was
I think
rattled.
it was British record.
Yeah, everybody was rattled because he broke the British record. But Robinho was a flop. Robinho was a flop because he wasn't even part of the transitional Manchester City winning ways. It was the Tevez and them lot, and the Adebayos and this.
He literally just came for vibes.
He came. He was the first one to say
the free kick, but
I think he wasn't sure where he was going when he signed for Man City. A lot of them.
Think he was signing
it was
for
one
United?
of them ones. Yeah, 100. But he realised, wait, when did you lot wear blue? So then he got there. He was getting money. But yeah, that was it.
I think for this list, have you got some honourable mentions you want to?
Honourable mentions, just quickly.
I could go for years.
Some of them are still playing. Pepe, Fred, Keita, Maguire, Fred was 50 mil. Drinkwater, one of the worst signings Chelsea's ever made. One of the worst signings. Balotelli at Liverpool.
Yeah.
Benteke. Oh man, Liverpool as well. When I was really thinking about it, Arsenal didn't really waste money, you know. That's why this Pepe one really hurts us. I was trying to think, who have we wasted money on? It's only really been Pepe, because we don't even spend money like that.
So
we're very stingy.
And when you did and it's ended up like this,
it's painful still. But Chelsea, blood on your hands.
Couple honourable mentions. Mangala signed for 40 million for a defender back
Man
when
City.
I was very close to putting him in. Very close. Very close, because nobody deeks. They signed him for 40 million back when defender did not get signed for 40 million.
Yeah.
They did not. And he was just butt cheeks as well. Matej Kezman, bit of a throwback. Know about that one, you know he should have been signed by Chelsea. Literally. Robbie Keane at Anfield. People forget he did that. 20 million. Boyhood dream.
They sound Robbie Keane and they sound Stuart Downing as well for 20 mil.
They thought he could bring the powers of North London to Anfield. Didn't work. Roy Carroll. I don't think we signed him for a lot of money. Keeper, but you're just generally like I hate him. I still got hate for him. I was a young boy when I used to watch him, but I knew he was a liability. Even when I was still young, I knew he was a liability. I knew a liability when I seen one. Roque Santa Cruz gave a big reputation. You have to go deep. You have to go into the islands for this, fam.
Yeah.
So I think, one
Got to
person.
do this top 5 again properly.
One person I'm happy did not get mentioned was Ali.
You are now listening to The Final Third.
I think Pepe's so coachable.
Well, you should be in
just need to
prison.
shake him.
You should be in prison. We build you out. We build you out to come and play this season. You're out here disgracing us. You should be in prison. You should be facing charges.